Hi everyone, my name is Rhonda Robson and welcome to my Fluid Art channel. Today we are going to be doing what I call a transparency bloom. Now this was inspired by Rinska, who calls this same painting a reveal painting, but mine's just a little bit different, so I called it a transparency bloom. Anyway, to start, I need to show you how I created the base. Now, I don't like how it ended up. I tried to take 3 different colors, and I really liked it when it got to about where all 3 colors were, you could see them distinctly. And then I started blending, and I didn't like it. But it looks great afterwards anyway, so I guess it really doesn't matter. I chose the 3 colors that I'm using actually on the top too as well in the bloom technique. I'm using Artist Loft Metallic Cobalt Blue, Metallic Blue, also by Artist Loft, and then also the Arteza Pearl Arctic Blue. And I love these 3 colors together. They look really, really great. I wanted to make 3 separate colors, but somehow I got too hung up on trying to blend it, and then it ended up being kind of yucky, but it still looks good. So wait until the reveal at the end. In this video, I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this transparency bloom. That was, of course, like I said earlier, inspired by Rinska. And then if you want to know how I mixed my colors for the bloom technique, wait to the end. You're going to be able to see how I mixed one of them as well as my cell activator. All right. Let's get started. Okay, so we're going to try the transparency mix again. This time I'm going to do it as a bloom technique. So my transparency was inspired by Rinska, and her transparency formula is 65% Floetrol, her Floetrol. So I'm using the American Floetrol. And then 15% of Liquitex Gloss Medium, which I don't have the Gloss Medium today because I was super excited to get started with this. I didn't want to go buy it. I have GAC though, so that's what I'm going to be using. And then the mixture is mixed with 5% of a Liquitex iridescent medium, and so that's what I'm going to use right here. And then 15% of water right here. And so I used filtered water all the time, and that's what I have in my mix right here, except for I don't have the iridescent. I add that later. Okay, then what I did is I created this gradient look. It looks kind of messy right now. I'm not real happy with it, but we'll see what it looks like afterwards with these colors. So I have Artist Loft Cobalt Blue Metallic Blue. Whoops, there went my Floetrol. And then the Arteza Pearl Arctic Blue. So that's what this is here, as well as I created the bloom colors too. So I've got them set over here to the side, and the bloom colors that I'm using, and I should have probably made a black one, so I don't know. No, because I've got cell activator that's black, so I'm good. So I made this using the bloom mix, which is 3 parts Sherwin-Williams Semi-Gloss Base C to 1 part Josana gloss, okay? And it's just a 3-to-1 ratio of this mix. And then I take this mix and add it to my paint, which I've already put it over here, my paint, 1-to-1 ratio, okay? And that's what I came up with this. However, this was super thick, so most of these are a 1-to-1-to-1 ratio. So I did 1 part mix, 1 part paint, and 1 part water. And then the only one that I didn't do 1 part water was this blue here, because it's a lot thinner. The Arteza is a lot thinner paint, so it's not blue, or it's not mixed to that much water. I only did like 0.75 water. Okay, then my cell activator mix right here is Aussie Floetrol. I went ahead and purchased the Australian Floetrol, and it is 20 milliliters of Aussie Floetrol to 5 milliliters of paint. So I actually have more than that in here, and I ended up doing, I think, 3 or 4 different, actually I think it was 4. So I think I did 80 milliliters of the Floetrol to 20 milliliters of the paint. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Hi everyone. Okay, back. So I've got this on my spinner and got it centered really well. And I've got my cell activator right here, ready to go. Stir it up a little bit more. And I have my pillow paint that I'm calling my pillow paint anyway. Right here, it's going to be a lot thinner than typically a pillow paint is. Well, it's storming out, so just so you guys know, you might hear some thunder. Back to the center, and down that way. And then let's go this way. So that way it'll spin out good. Okay, so got my pillow paint on here. Go ahead and put that in the center more. We're going to go ahead and layer our colors here. I'll start with a dark blue. I always try to do contrasting colors, so you'll see me do like a dark blue, then you'll see me do like this light blue. And then I'll do the cobalt blue next, which is kind of a green blue. And I think I'm going to go out here with it, bring back in the darker blue. And then let's do the lighter blue one more time. And then the next color we're going to do is the black cell activator. And again, this is the Australian Floetrol. This is not my American one that I make. So you go ahead, let's get that. It seems to be sliding just a bit this way. And in the center a little bit more. Okay, here's my cell activator. All right, so it's definitely thinner, so you can kind of see that it kind of like jerked out there. So I'm just letting it come back in. I'm going to blow straight down into the darker area. And then we're going to spin this out. And I wasn't sure how it was going to react because this is not the typical pillow paint that you would typically have in a bloom technique. So I think, yeah, you see the cells aren't as like, you know, solid and circular. They're much more wonky because of the way the cell activator reacts to not being in that thick pillow. All right, so it'll be interesting to see, because the milky white is supposed to be transparent, right? So I don't think, well, I don't know if I want to mess with it at all or not. I think I'm not going to mess with it. I was going to like take a skewer through it like I normally would. But I really want to see how this comes out just as is. I think I'm going to tilt it slightly that way. There. Got it more in the center. Okay, I will get you down and show you what that looks like, and then I will show you the end results, which would be the dried results. Okay, so here's what it looks like wet. See all the white? I'm hoping that that'll be the gradient behind there. And let me just kind of take you around a little bit to show you all the details of it. And again, see how the cells, their cells are there, right? But they're kind of wonky. So definitely needs a thicker pillow paint. So maybe the transparency, I can make it thicker in order to do this. All right, well, I'll let you see what it looks like dried here in just a few moments. Out of all the transparency ones, this is probably my favorite, and I am going to resin this one just as is. I'm looking forward to seeing what it looks like. So this is the result of the transparency bloom that I did, dry and cured. So I'm going to resin it today. Can't wait to see it. All right, I'll show you those results after this. Bye. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you is how I do my cell activator. You're going to want to make sure that you zero out your scale numbers while your cup, the cup that you're going to use to put your paint in, while it is actually on your scale. So then we're going to take Amsterdam black paint. That's what we're going to use for the cell activator in this one. Okay, so now that I have 20 milliliters of paint, you can see up there that I need to take 5 milliliters of paint to 20 milliliters of Aussie. So in order to get 20 milliliters, I take 5 times 4. So then that means the 20 milliliters of Aussie Floetrol, I need to take that times 4 as well to get my 80 milliliters of the Floetrol in order to get the right consistency or the right ratio, which is technically a 1:4 ratio. Okay, and I am using Australian Floetrol for this cell activator today. So I got it, and this will be the first time I'm actually using the Australian Floetrol. I have my own cell activator that I've used in the past, but today I'm using the Australian. So then you're going to zero it out because you want to make sure that you put in exactly 80 milliliters. So here we go, getting up to the 80. A little bit more. Oop. There we go. Close enough almost. Okay, so now that I have 81 milliliters, I'm pretty much at that 1:4 ratio, which is 1 parts the paint and then 4 parts of the Aussie Floetrol. Okay, so then you're going to take your stick and you're going to stir this really well. You're going to want to make sure you get all of that Australian Floetrol all mixed in with the paint. And then every once in a while you're going to want to see the thickness, and you can see there how it leaves a mound on the top, but it is still a thinner consistency. And then what I do is I always date my cell activators or any of the paint that I put together ahead of time, so I just kind of know when I did it, and I always write it down too as well on in my documentation of my notebook that I have right there, so you can kind of see what I've got. I've got 100 milliliters of cell activator. All right, so now we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to zero it out for the bloom mix and the paint mix. So the bloom mix is 3 parts Sherwin-Williams semi-gloss base C to 1 part Josana gloss, and that's what I'm putting in the container right now. And that mix is a 1:1 paint ratio. Now, this mix for some reason is a lot thicker, so I ended up doing a 1 part bloom mix to 1 part paint to 1 part water. And you're gonna see I should have had a bigger container because me putting the water in there was a little tough. So here I'm just getting the milliliters accurate with the paint and the bloom mix together. So 20 milliliters and 20 milliliters. And then I'm just going to take that and I'm going to do my stick again and stir that really, really well. I don't know why I always put my pointer finger up when I'm stirring, but I do. But I can already tell how thick this is going to be. Look at that. It's way too thick. So I probably should have put some more Josana gloss in this, but I didn't have any more, so I went ahead and just did water for this one. All right, so we're going to do the same thing with the water. And initially I put a little bit in at a time, and I'm going to zero it out to see how much I actually get. So I just put a little bit in, and then I stir it a little bit, and stir it a little bit, and stir it. And you're going to see that it is tough because you have to fold in the water. And then once you get it folded in, then you can really mix it. So it's better to, if you know that you're going to be making quite a bit, to maybe make it in a cup and then put it in your container. But I didn't want to waste the cup. And of course it's too thick still, so I need to add more water. And here what I'm going to show you is if you only needed to add a little bit, you can put your straw in there and put your finger on the tip of the straw to hold it, to suction it, and then just drop in a little bit of water at a time. I'm going to need a lot more water than this. I'm going to realize that here in just a minute, but as I'm doing this, it's kind of funny how I put my pointer finger up every single time I'm mixing. But again, you're going to have to fold in the water and then get it mixed in there. So normally I would have did this at the same time as I'm mixing in the paint as well as mixing in the bloom mix. I would have put it in all at the same time. All right, I'm just going to let you watch me kind of fool around with this water, and it's going to be a pain in the butt here, and I'm going to spill, but yeah. All right, I'm just going to let you watch.
Oops.
So now that I've discovered that it definitely is a 1:1 ratio of bloom mix to paint to water, I want to make sure that I write that down, that I have that for later, and I have it now for you too. All right, well, I really appreciate you watching today. Have a great morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you're at in the world. Bye for now.
Thanks for joining me today, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing and clicking that notification bell. And if you like this video, I bet you're gonna like these as well. Thanks a lot and have a great day. Bye! Bye!